Hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. All right, we're going to do the maiden flight on the 64mm F-22 from FREEWING, the version 2. Got an AR-631 in there, and going to fly in my high rates. The rates are set up by the books, but we'll go over everything back in the man cave. And we're going to see what we can do with it. See if I can get a maiden in before the storm comes. All right. Right, left, up, down, right. Remember, it does not have yaw control. And I chose not to put an afterburner in it because it has an outrunner, the new generation of outrunner. And I mean, I can, there's a way of doing it. You got to mount the EDF or the afterburner in the rear, right behind the afterburner or right behind the motor. But I just didn't do it. And timer set for 3.5 minutes. All right, done my range test and everything back at the house. So let's see what we can do. Oh, kind of windy. Does a little bit of up trim. Climb a little bit more.
3 minutes.
Oh yeah. Flying real good. Oh yeah, great to practice your high alpha with. That outrunner sounds really good in this one. All right, let's see if I can't pull off a landing. Get out of your way here. There, little touch and go there.
Time remaining 2 minutes.
I like my high rates. Yeah, it would be nice if it had a rudder. Rudder would be nice. Perfect landing.
Trimming mode.
All right, we're gonna go to manual mode now. I got no gyro at all. AS3X and all that's turned off. So it's just straight just straight spectrum receiver. No gyro at all. We're gonna see how trim she is. I should have done that first off, but I just wanted to see. All right, no gyro, no help at all with the wind. Just me and the plane. Let's see how she does. Very stable. Oh yeah, this plane don't need a gyro. I mean, it does make it fly a little better. All right.
Time remaining 1 minute.
All right.
AS3X
Go
mode.
back to the gyro now. Let's see if we can establish stall now. All right, you're flying along, you lose power. What does she do? All right, she just slumps forward. All right, now let's turn that around. We'll do that with actually holding up elevator and see what she does. That I didn't do anything, I just let go of the sticks.
30 seconds.
All right. All right, you're flying along, you lose power, hold up elevator, elevator, elevator. Which wing, which wing, which wing? All right. Doesn't really have any preference. But then again, that's an F-22. They have a very anti-stall sort of airframe. All right. Oh, what a great flying little F-22. All right, we got 11 seconds. Oh yeah. It's got thrust reverse. Got me a hitchhiker somehow. Oh, piece of weed or something. How on earth did that get in that wing? Oh, okay. Let's check the battery. And see what kind. Still got 7 seconds left on a 3.5 minute timer. Let's see what kind of juice is left in the tank. Running an SMC 2400 pack. Their version 2. I still got 49%, so I'm going to start setting my timer for 4.5 minutes and be done with it. Let's take this bad boy up again. All right. All right, so 4 minutes and 15 seconds just to be on the safe side. All right, take her up again. This time I want to do a little more inverted. Check that CG. I'll let the timer still grow. That way I got total time.
Timer expired.
All right. I do have the nose wheel gyro going, but I don't think I got the settings right. I think I've got the compensation too high. So I need to move that down, but all right. I don't know. There we go. Reaching for that imaginary retract that I don't have. Well, it sounds so good. Now remember, folks, this is the Maiden. I've never flown this plane before. Let's do a touch and go. Maybe, well, that was a no touch and go.
1 minute.
That means you're at 4.5.
Yeah, let's go ahead and land it. All right, that is one sweet flying little jet.
Motor is so very chill.
All right, minute and a half over, so 4.5, okay, so 3.5, so a full 5 minutes of total stick time. Now that wasn't all entirely in the air, but the majority of it was. Check the battery now. 23%, perfect, absolutely perfect. So really, 4.5 minutes is very conservative. If you need to do a bunch of go-arounds, set it for 4 minutes and 15 seconds. That way you got plenty for go-around in case you miss your landing. Because remember, you don't have rudder, so you need to take that in consideration. You don't have that yaw correction. So I'm thinking I'm going to reset my timer for the next flight for 4 minutes and 15 seconds and do a little more inverted on the next flight. But I'll tell you right now, that was a very successful Maiden. That's one of the reasons why this little jet stays out of stock all the time. As soon as they get them, they sell them all out because it's that good. Whenever a company sells a plane, they're constantly out of stock. You see them get in stock and they all go. They get back in stock and they all go. Well, that should tell you it's because it's a good plane. Okay, y'all have a good one. This is Fat Guy Flies RC, and that was the maiden flight, first time ever in the air, of the 64mm F-22 version 2 from FREEWING. Bye, y'all. Hey folks, all right, Fat Guy Flies RC at the AMA Club 4747, the Avon Park Aero Modelers Club. All right, we're going to take the second time ever having it up in the air, the 64mm FREEWING F-22 version 2.
Motor is hot. Don't get burnt. You bad boy.
Got my timer set for 4 minutes and 15 seconds. High rates by the book. Here we go. And I may have to break down and put an afterburner in this thing, just so I have a little bit of visual help. All right.
Timer reset.
All right, here we go. This is a great flying little F-22 right here. Just needs a rudder. If it had a rudder, that'd be great.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
Great flying F-22. Flies just like its big brothers. Hardly any stick needed to hold inverted.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
I'm having a hard time keeping her in focus.
Sorry. Well, little gray plane, little gray in a gray sky. That's another reason to have an afterburner. It gives something else for the camera to pick up on. And camera precious is like, you know what? I'm having a hard enough time as it is, and you're hunting a hot dog with her. Here, let's go back over here, come at us, and try to practice a little bit of high alpha. Put her into the wind, kind of slow, pull up on that elevator. Watching for that wing rock too bad.
Time remaining 2 minutes.
Try that again. A little bit more again. A little bit more again. Yeah, I wish she had yaw control. That would be perfect. Yeah. There we go. All right. Do some landing drills real quick. All right. Do a touch and go, which is the best way to tell how a plane's going to react. More of a bounce and go. Yeah. A rudder would be awesome. Uh-oh. Something came off. Thanks, Mom. Part of that fake, yeah, part of the fake gear door. They're just plastic, held on by plastic. Yeah, it just pops. Yeah, it's like a plastic model. Well, plastic model. It's just held on. So let's Still got a minute. Finish our flight. Try to get finish one more plane flight in before we get out, chased out here by this rain. All right, here we go. I'll be honest, if you're going to be taking off and laying on grass or anything, I would just go ahead and remove the dummy doors because the grass is going to pull them off anyways. And they're really just for show. I mean, they don't affect the landing or the performance of the aircraft at all. All right. One more takeoff and landing. One more takeoff and landing's guaranteed.
20 seconds.
The idea is mitigating the damage on landing.
10.
There we go, just like butter. I need some toast because I got all this butter. And that's the second time, folks, I've ever had her in the air. Second time. Back up, buddy. Yeah, she got reverse thrust. All right.
Motor is so very chill.
Motor is so very chill. Battery's kind of warm because I pushed it all the way. 4 seconds left on 4 minutes and 15 seconds. 37%, perfect storage rate. I got that 2400 SMC pack is back as far as I can physically make it go. And she still feels kind of slightly nose heavy for me. Yeah, that structure, to show you up close, I have to grab my radio. That's just that, if you watch my build, it's just the plastic covers. And I can actually just pop that right back on there. It's held on by a screw. Undo that screw, put it back in, maybe put some epoxy in there, hold it in place, but it's just for looks. It doesn't affect the flying the plane at all. And if you're doing taxi drills down your driveway, don't turn too quickly because I scuffed my wingtip up. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching. We'll go back to the man cave here in a little bit and we'll go over all the rates and everything I flew in, all about my AS3X and how I like to fly this little booger. God bless y'all. God is good. And don't forget, folks, faith, family, and friends, and F-22s. Got my F-22 FREEWING collections complete from the 90 down to the 64. See y'all. Well, hey, folks, Fat Guy Flies RC coming to you from the Man Cave Studios, and this is, y'all watched the 2 flights, the maiden and the second flight of my all-new FREEWING 64mm F-22 version 2. All right, had a fabulous flying, great flying experience, great flying little jet. Absolutely love it. I just wish it had rudder control. It does have steerable nose wheel, but it doesn't have traditional rudders. But it is a little bank and yank. Now, before we go any further, something you need to do if you're setting yours up, I don't know if I covered it in the build or not, you need to have about 6 millimeters of up elevator trim, okay, for your default trim. You can see it's kind of right about 6 millimeters. They're pretty well even with each other. And that gets you to fly at neutral. Now, speaking of flying at neutral, the stock battery they have you put in a 1600 to a 2200 4S. Even with a 2200, the biggest that you can put in here, as far back as you can physically make it, she still wants to be slightly nose heavy, okay, at the recommended CG. The CG by the manufacturer is 83 to 88 millimeters back. I got some glue marks there. Right, those plastic points, you put your finger right behind. I got 2 glue drips there, and she still wants to be slightly nose heavy. Makes for a good positive control in flying the plane that way. However, you're not going to get the performance out of it flying this type of jet with it being slightly nose heavy. This plane needs to be level to slightly tail heavy to get the slightly tail heavy to get the performance out of it you need. Now, if you want to get where she's going to fly level or slightly tail heavy like this, you're going to have to cut some foam out and push that 2200 a little further back in there. There is enough room, enough air for you to do it, but not much. So you may have to live with it being just level. I've got a 2400 SMC pack, but it's the normal size and weight of a 2000 4S. So that's why I love SMC. You get more bang for your buck in the same amount of space as a smaller battery, and the same amount of weight of a smaller battery. So that's where I've got it all the way back. Got an AR631 in there. Got I figured out my nose wheel gyro when I was flying, but I figured out what I was doing wrong. I got it set now for just 25% gain, and that's it. And that's all it's needed for this little guy. And that's the only going right now. That's the only gyro going right now, just that nose wheel, because I haven't engaged the motors yet. Now, I'm going to engage the motor.
Motor is hot. Don't get burnt.
Okay, now all the gyros are working. Okay.
Motor is so
Now,
chill.
let me show you I got safe. Okay, so she holds her position. See, look at the control surface. They hold their position. Safe. I didn't use safe.
AS3
Here is my AS3X. So the rudders go up and the ailerons react to keep her stable, but not self-leveling. Let's talk about our flying rates, and then we'll go back to AS3X. The flying rates that I flew her in, only aileron and elevator. I don't have I'll just go ahead and tell you the rudder. I have it on 100% throws with 70% expo to soften that steering. But that's all I got, and that's just that's the rudder channel. Ailerons, flew them on, this is by the book, 70% with 30% expo. Ailerons, I'm sorry, elevators, 100% with 30% expo, and that's all the control you got. So 100% or 70% with 30% expo on the ailerons, 100% with 30% expo on the elevators, and that's it. You don't have rudders, flying rudders per se. Now, my forward programming, my gyro settings, AS3X settings are at one-time gains. The gains are set on just roll and pitch, is all I'm dealing with. 25% on the ailerons for roll and pitch at 40%. The priorities on roll and pitch are at 100, not the stock 140. The stop lock is at 50 on roll and pitch, and release rate I did nothing with. Gains, like I said, are one-time gains. Now the nose wheel gyro, the settings on that, I have the rudder channel plugged into the gear. Instead of going to the rudder, so instead of channel 4, I went to channel 5, plugged the rudder, the nose wheel, into the channel, which would normally be my gear, and that's my nose wheel channel, okay? And I have the rate gain set at 25%, and the heading window at 50%, and that's the stock. And the stock setting is a priority of 180, and that seems to work out really, really well as I figured that out. I thought I didn't have enough, but I got it perfect right there. Okay, and that's pretty much it. The biggest thing is make sure you got about 6 millimeters of up default trim, and that's what that looks like.
Trimming mode.
Okay, as you can see, it's up just a little bit. Get a little closer to you, we can see it. It's up just a touch from neutral. Okay, if it was perfectly trim, then the back of these would be even with each other. Okay, well she's not gonna fly right for you. You got to have that up elevator, otherwise she's gonna keep wanting to dive on you. Okay, now one thing I don't like, there's two things I don't like about the plane. Number one, doesn't have working flight rudders. It needs that. And number two, all the other FREEWINGs, the nose is detachable, because you hit these nose, and it'd be nice if this was detachable. But I understand. But at least this part here is plastic. You do have some plastic wear points, like right here, This is plastic on the end of here. I wish that the wingtips were plastic. That'd be great. And I wish these inlets were plastic. But then again, it's a $189 plane. It's not one of their, it's not one of their great big $500 planes. Decent sized battery bay. That's where I've got the AR631 with an antenna just looping around. And that's where I've got the 2400 SMC pack. Let me just show you that pack. I've got another, without having to take that one out. I say I've got, oh, here's one. SMC fit these out, sent these out to me for a review, and they're just a great pack. They're just, you get the same punch and the same power. Or you get, like here's a regular 2200 4S, right? Okay, look at the difference. Okay, this Turnigy pack is actually bigger and it's the same length, but it's actually has more physical mass. And this, when you charge it at 4.35, is actually just 2400 milliamp, and this is a 2200 milliamp. Now, if you charge it the regular 4.2, then it's a 2000 milliamp. So you get more bang for your buck. These are great batteries too. Okay, but these SMC packs, I love them. This is their version 2. That's what I have in here. I have several of them. They're just great batteries. They do cost more, but they seem to get, you get more performance the entire flight. They last longer. They're just good batteries. They're just all around it's good batteries. I don't know the science and everything behind them, why they're good. I just know they work and they last for me. So there you go. Well, there you go. As far as that goes, go back to AS3X. This is the version 2 F-22 from FREEWING, 64 millimeter. It is a great flying plane. Y'all saw the 2 flights I got in today. Hopefully get another flight soon. And I've already fixed that one gear little piece that came off. Just pop that back in. I think it was this one. That little fairing. I just put some little bit of CA on there, popped it back in place. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Well, folks, thank you so much for watching. God bless y'all. And don't forget, faith, family, and friends, let's keep them in the air. And this is the F-22 64 to round out my 4 F-22 collection. See y'all later. Bye-bye.